Said by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Spider-Man on the PS4. I've played all the Spider-Man games up to now, like all the titles in the past, and I think it's only the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game I didn't get a chance to play, but I hear it's still quite good, and it's still like full price in the shops. It's still like 20 odd quid, I think, or 30 quid. So it's like, it must be a good game if it's held its price. This is me mate on the gameplay. I gave him a go yesterday and he was like checking it out. But as far as the game goes, like just a quick overview, I think they've done a good job. They've concentrated on the two main bits, the graphics. No, sorry, the three main bits. The graphics, which are always essential in a brand new game. You can't have shit graphics if anyone's going to take it seriously. The fighting, the combat system. Is really good and it's really diverse as well, so you've always got lots of options like in ways to kill the enemy, especially as you start playing the game more and you unlock more like moves and stuff, which makes the fighting a lot easier. So you start to enjoy it more. I found it a bit hard at first just because I'm so used to playing Batman. I kept pressing triangle to do a reverse, and on this it's circle. Triangles to like do a web zip. Basically squares to punch and kick, unlimited combos, just punch and kick. And then you've got triangle, which is like a web zip where you just, no matter where the enemy is on the screen, you can always like just zip towards them. You'll like web the enemy and pull yourself towards them. So that helps you keep the combo going, because sometimes an enemy might be on the other side of a long room and he's shooting a gun at you or something, so you have to like run or swing over to get to him to like hurt him. So you'd have to like just web swing and you'll zip straight across, web zip and you just zip straight across and you can kick fuck out of them then. So it's, the way they've changed it, I do like the button system. It was, like I say, it was hard to get used to at first, but that's only because I kept thinking triangle was reverse, and I was getting the counter in, but I was hitting the wrong button, so I would be dying a lot, and it was frustrating. But I've managed to like rewire my brain so I can remember that it's circle to like evade. So the swinging is really good. And also, if you haven't played the game, this is a bit of a spoiler because this is like the first boss battle against Fisk. So if you don't want to watch this, just skip a little bit. And like I say, the graphics are really good. Sometimes the sun, like when you're just perched on top of a skyscraper and you're looking around the city, and it's like becoming like dawn, or it's like it's dusk and the sun's either going down or just coming up, and the way the city looks under the orange light and it's reflecting off the glass, it looks fucking class. You know what I mean? They've really done a good job with the graphics. And the map's fucking massive. It's like the full like Manhattan, or I think it's New York or whatever. Me geology's not that good on where we are on that, but fucking it's not geology. What is it? It's geographic fucking knowledge of America. Like, you know what I mean. But you get a massive set of the map anyway. Whether it unlocks further later on in the game, I'm not really sure. So I don't really know. But it's massive anyway. It feels huge. And you can, like I say, the swinging is down to a T. You can like swing and then you jump at the end of your swing and you land on something and pounce off it straight away and continue your swing. Plus you've got your web zips to pull yourself along. Plus you can L2 and R2 to like straight away like zip to a fucking pinpoint wherever you pick. So like I say, they've really done the graphics good. They've done the map is huge. They've done really good with the swinging around. It's really intuitive now. And the fighting, they've sorted the fighting out as well, so it feels more diverse and dynamic. It's not just button mashing and then like reversals like Assassin's Creed. This one, it's like you've got to think about how to defeat every single enemy. They've all got different tactics to do. So you've got to. I mean, with a boss, it's the same as any game. You just learn his routine, and then you figure out what to do. But you say like this is my friend playing, and it's like circle. Your spidey senses will tingle, like you see around his head, it's tingling. But that's just telling you that there's an incoming attack. The bloke who's about to attack you won't be anywhere near you yet. So we were pressing circle far too early, and you like do a cartwheel out the way, and then the bloke would run in and punch you. Because you've got to wait until the animations of the thug who's trying to hit you is like carried out before you press circle. It's like we were getting too hasty on the buttons and being too preemptive with the reversals, and we were mistiming it, and it was costing us. And you know, because it's the same. But with Batman, if you press it early, it'll still register, and as long as you're not really early. But if you're relatively early, even if the bloke's like running in to punch you, as long as you get triangle, even at the last second, it'll still work. Whereas this, it's a bit more precise. There, you see what I mean? Even though we're pressing circle, you still like get hit because it's all about timing. So again, I can only praise the combat system because I think they've done a really good job on that. And the way you move around as Spider-Man as well is like, it makes you laugh sometimes. If you're a fan of Spider-Man anyway, and you know some of the classic poses and the way he moves around, and like just, you know, the way he poses his body when he's standing still or shit like that, or even when he's just looking around, like we were laughing at the typical Spider-Man stuff like they do. They've got it down to a T, like, so you do feel like Spider-Man, because like when you're pressing circle, you're just doing backflips and fucking somersaults and shit and getting out of the way of everything. And if you're near like a hard surface, like a wall, then you can like jump onto the wall and he sticks on with like one hand, and then, you know, you can pounce off and hit someone, or you can jump again. Another thing is if you're like evading stuff and you jump up in the air and someone's about to shoot you or throw something at you and you're in the air, you can still press circle and evade, and he'll like shoot a web to the side and pull himself to the side, so, which I thought was really good, because you know, that's one way you would think you'd be able to get Spider-Man when he's in the air. When he just jumps up and he's static, you can just shoot him, but he's even got an answer for that. So I just like the way it works. And you get stuff like that where you wall run. There's like benchmark, landmark stuff you need to do, like wall run for 5,000 miles, 5,000 meters. I mean, you've got to swing close to the floor for like 1,000 meters. You've got to, like, you know, just do loads of free running and shit. If you hold R2, you basically parkour, and you can just like run around. And as long as you hold an R2, it's like sprint. But if you come to any kind of wall or ledge or anything like that, you'll just hop over it, and it's all smooth as fuck, and you feel class. Because when you're going through tight spaces, he's like jumping and spinning around, you know, like Darth Maul. He'll jump and do a corkscrew, like jump through like a structure, and then you keep running, and you're hopping over the tables and that. I mean, all you're doing is holding R2, but still, it looks really good and it feels fluent. This is the the skill tree, because it's different. You've got your skill tree and you've got your suits. You can upgrade your suits, and you can stick buffs on them. You can stick 3 like mods per suit, plus every suit's got its own special power. But here's the where you unlock extra moves. Like the move we unlocked, I think, was where if you jump up in the air and you hold square, then you'll do like that classic swing, you know, like a Tarzan swing, where he's got his legs out, and you can kick into big groups of people in that. So we just unlocked that, but we were looking through them, and the more all the different things, there's some really good ones. There's ones where you can disarm your enemy, you know, like same as Batman, and that becomes really handy. So obviously, I'm sure on what's it called, YouTube, there's loads of videos on which skills to get first, and so I'm not even going to bother fucking trying to explain that shit. If you're interested in that, or if you want to know, just, I'm sure you'll be able to find a video online, like, because there is going to be ones that are just going to be pointless, or things that you're not going to particularly use. It depends on the way you fight. I mean, you can go in stealth and just fucking stealth the whole thing, You don't necessarily have to go and fight. So it's great because when you turn up to a situation, you do just feel like you're in control, and you can just you know, attack the situation which you think. And plus you've got gadgets and that, so you can just use your gadgets and take out loads of people without hardly any effort. Um, you do get levels like this where you're walking around as Peter, because you've got to go back to the laboratory, and you've got to go back to your apartment, because you work for Doc Ock, so you've got to go to work and shit. You've got to turn up and do like science work, and you can discover different chemicals, and you find out what substances, like you find random substances and you put them on a microscope. You mess around with the DNA and that, and then you can figure out what the chemical is, and that goes towards your upgrades and that as well. Um, and you get to choose suits. I think this is the suits bit where it's talking about the suits. Um, and like I say, you need to go around in order to craft the suits. There's certain things you've got to do. Like they each got like a certain requirement. So you can like have to do like crime, because there's random crimes, there's landmarks you need to take pictures of, there's backpacks you've got to find, there's technology that you've got to unlock. Like, do you see those symbols going along the bottom, the multicolored ones? Purple is the science one, blue one is landmarks. What's that one again? Oh, I can't remember what that one is. Oh, it's base. They're called base points. The triangle hazard sign is a crime. Fucking the green one's backpack, but I can't remember what the orange one is. But anyway, you know, one of them's probably a tower or something like that. But you know, because the map's absolutely massive, you've got shitloads of stuff to do in the map, like searching. I know a lot of people complained about that. I've seen a few reviews like before I got the game, and a lot of people get, oh, like, how are Activision, is this the best you can do, that we've got to go and find some backpacks, we've got to go and find, like, take photographs and that. Like, that's bullshit. Why do I have to do that? But what else is they gonna, like, give them some credit. How are they gonna fill the map and, you know, like, give you shit to do? Because it helps you explore that. If you've got to look for stuff like the backpacks and shit like that, then basically it makes you go to places in the map that which you wouldn't normally go. If you had nothing to search for whatsoever, then you probably wouldn't even see half of the map. You would just be going to the missions. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't mind that. I think it's good how they've tried to fill the map full of fucking like stuff to do. That's the whole point of it being a game. Yeah, I know what they're saying. It's very old-fashioned, and you know, every game that ever came out is the same. You know, when you've got a massive open map, it's like, I'll go and collect the. Remember, Grand Theft had them even when they were like the hidden packages, and you had to shoot the pigeons and shit on Vice City. Not Vice City, fucking where you were Nico Bellic, Grand Theft 4. But you know, so this is you upgrade your suit, and you know what I mean, you have to do these tasks around the map, and that helps you collect currency basically to build suits. This is where you're doing your work in the science lab, and it gives you like a list of things that needs fixing, and it's like just little mini games, and you've basically got to try and figure out like the voltage on this one. You see on the top left, the actual voltage is 0 now, and then the target voltage is 3. So you've got to pass the current through, but certain things deduct or add like current. So you've got to, like, you know what I mean. They're a piece of piss. Like, they're not really hard. You know, and you basically some of the little pieces only let the current flow through one way and shit like that. So it's not that difficult. But as you play, you know, you'll get used to it, and then you don't feel like daunted about, oh, you're like, oh, fuck the science bit again, because it's not that hard, so you do get used to it. But this is what you have to do, just like search around, look for everything. Don't particularly run straight to the yellow objective, because you'll end up missing a lot of stuff. This is like the substance one. Gets a bit harder later on, because you see how there's like 3 empty panels under the DNA strip. Well, later on there's like 6, so you have to like overlap them to make the DNA pattern. So it starts off quite easy, but it does get a bit complicated later. But like I say, they're nothing too challenging. So, but I would give it like at least an 8 out of 10. Like, there's a few things that could change or maybe improve, but most of it's fucking class. So if you like the look of it, definitely go and buy it, like, 'cause it's worth it. So that's it. See you later.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.